Good morning. It is a beautiful day here in Portugal. I am back from my epic Finland adventure. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But right now, just feeling that sun on my skin is absolutely incredible. I'm back here at Miracle Mountain. It's really odd talking to a camera right now because it's been over 3 weeks since I last filmed a video. And it's just me and the animals back at Miracle Mountain. And I'm going to update you on everything and what's going on. So obviously I'm up with the sun because August is probably the most brutal month here in Portugal for the heat. And Bella just shot off into the distance. She obviously picked up a scent of something. So talking about the weather and how warm it is, I got so lucky in Finland, like ridiculously lucky. You're talking 25 to 30 degrees pretty much every single day until I reached the Arctic Circle, and obviously further north it started to cool down a little bit and got a few days of rain, but on the whole, absolutely incredible. I could not have asked for better weather. So here's a little update on how the lake is looking. I'm really happy with it. It's looking really nice. The water is still incredibly clear. You can probably see in the distance there, it got a little bit of a casualty on my hands. One of the barrels have started taking on water and it's just slowly sinking. So I need to fix that at some point soon before it gets even harder to remove out of the water. And I just need to reseal the barrel. But I'm really happy with everything. The aerators are still working really nicely. You can see them bubbling away there. The ducks are happy and the water level has dropped some more, but that isn't a bad thing because it means now I have a nice platform. You can see down there all of the stones. I can use that as a real anchor to anchor myself on the side of the lake and work on all of the brush and the trees that need removing around the lake. And then when it fills back up, it will look incredibly smart. So I'm just on my morning routine where I'm heading down to the goats and the chickens and let them out to free range for the whole day. And like I said, it's a beautiful morning. It's a pleasure to be out this time in the morning because it's so cool, it's so lovely. And obviously I've got lots of shade from the trees, so I can get stuff done up until about midday. And then it's nice to chill out a little bit when it gets up to like 38 degrees. You don't really want to be out working in that. You're just asking for trouble. But reflecting on Finland, it was a life-changing trip, I would say, in many different ways. And some I'll get into and some I won't. And I can't complain about this walk. It's absolutely gorgeous. The animals will be super happy to see me, as they were when I got back from Finland. It was so nice to see everyone. And this is their first full day back with me. So I'm gonna give them lots of love, lots of treats, and just make sure they're nice and comfortable in this warm weather. I've just spotted that the water is low in this tank, so that's a job I'm gonna have to do and fill up ASAP because obviously they're drinking a lot of water right now. Hello chickens. The chickens are raring to go. Well, these two are anyway. The other ones aren't out yet. Go on then. Go and explore for the day. See what juicy insects you can find. Good morning, goaties. Like I always say, the goats are not morning people whatsoever. In fact, they're not even people. But they really don't like the morning, so they're just probably gonna hang here and be like, why are you letting me out so early? I just want to relax in the shade and hang out And they usually do most of their grazing in the evening time, to be honest, but the gate's open. If they want to go out, they will. And just open this up for them, add some airflow to their coop, and we already have a chicken exploring the goat's enclosure. I was definitely blessed with the chillest goats ever to exist, I think. They're just not like your traditional goats where they're causing trouble and escaping all the time. The goats have finally decided to emerge out of their pen. So I am currently on my way walking down to this small pond that I created to see what condition it's in, because I noticed some algae in there just before I left, but I didn't have time to do anything. Are you following me? And it looks like the goats are gonna follow me down to the pond, so we shall see. They're not usually up for it at this time of the morning, so what I imagine they'll do is just stop, hang around and just graze around here while I head further down the property. So I guess the goats have decided I've been away long enough and that they want to come on the walk with me. So come on in, come on in, come on in. Good girls. Here they are. Oh, they're so cute. They will not leave my side. Every time I stop, they stop. Every time I walk off quite quickly, they kind of trot alongside me, which is really cute. Okay, let's have a little team talk. This morning's mission. Okay, that's obviously what she thinks of my team talk. But what I want you guys to do is to clean all of this brush around the pond.
Do you want your very own website but don't know where to start? Why not try out Squarespace and see for yourself how simple it is to create your very own professional looking website in no time. Designed with the user in mind, Squarespace has an easy and uncomplicated interface so you can bring your ideas to life. Browse through their templates to see which one works for you and the web page you have in mind. You can preview each template to see how it looks in real time, and it's no hassle to switch up the template at any point. We've changed our website template a couple of times over the years and it's been a breeze. The templates are customizable. Add and remove any features you want whilst altering the colour, font, layout and more. Squarespace gives you the option to buy your own domain directly through them, where you can search through various options and buy multiple domains if you wish. Handy features such as their free logo maker, newsletter and even a commerce section ensures you can have the website you want. We love having everything to do with our website in one place rather than having numerous third-party applications that all have to tie in together. Squarespace has wrapped it all up in one. So what you're waiting for? Click the link in our description or head to squarespace.com/indieprojects for a 14-day free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain.
So the goats have been incredibly good and working hard for me, eating all of the brush around the pond, which is exactly what I'd like them down here doing. And you can see the pond is looking really full, really healthy. I can see all of the fish look super plump and happy. They look well fed and enjoying their time in this pond, but you can also see some of that algae forming along the edges. And if I zoom in down there, you'll be able to see it. It's actually underneath as well. It's quite deep stuff. It looks like it's got some sort of root on the bottom of it. So I have to identify this algae, see what it is, but I'm pretty sure a net can just get rid of most of this algae pretty quickly. So that is what I'll do. And if I walk around the pond, I mean, just look how nice and clear it is in the middle. There's a fish right there, actually. I don't know if you can see that. I think that looks like a bass. But if I come around here, you'll be able to see that there's lots of fresh greenery actually growing in the water as well, which is really good news, because this area here, this shallow area, this is what I wanted to create, a really nice shallow habitat for the fish to hide in, the frogs to spawn, and just for wildlife to thrive. I cannot describe to you how proud I am of this pond and how well it is worked. This is the first pond that I've ever dug, and I do plan to start digging a new one on the new project property really soon, so that's an exciting project coming up. But this one, there was a few teething problems for sure, but it's completely natural, so that's going to happen. There's no liner. I lined this pond with all of the clay that I found at the bottom while digging the big hole, because it's about 8 feet deep. And I found all the clay, I separated it from the soil, and then I used that to pack into the sidewalls and the bottom of the pond so it would hold the water. And I did have a major leak and I needed to do some reconstruction work. And after that, it's been completely fine. Like, it's working so well. Water is still overflowing, and we're in the hottest part of the year with the least amount of water, and water's coming in from the spring and going back out. So it's just creating such a lovely environment for all of the fish and the wildlife surrounding it. I've caught deer drinking out of this before. The wild boar come down here as well and drink from it. So it's a really good resource for all of the animals as well as myself. So here's an angle some of you guys might not have seen before, and just to give you a bit of context, just in the distance there, that red roof, that's my new project property. I am just on my way back up to the house because I'm going to jump in the UTV, I'm going to drive up the mountain, and I'm going to show you guys where the cabin's at and what my ideas are for that. But as you can probably tell, I'm a little bit exhausted because being in Finland at midnight sun season, if you don't know what midnight sun is, essentially the sun doesn't set really. So, well, it doesn't set in certain areas at certain times. So I was just on the cusp of that, where essentially the sun would go down and immediately the sun would come back up. So the sunrise and sunset is like half an hour difference. So it's always light. You're in beautiful places. It's just really hard to go to bed. So I was going to bed at like 4 a.m, waking up at 7. I'd have to lock down all of the blinds to try and create some darkness in the van. But you just get so much done when you have so much daylight, but your body also doesn't really know how to slow down and calm down in the evenings, because essentially there is no evening. It's just beautiful golden light for hours and hours and hours. I definitely recommend midnight sun season to anyone if you've never experienced it. So I'm not far off the house now, but it's definitely started to warm up. So I was debating hiking up the mountain, but I think while I'm this tired, it's better just to jump in the 4x4 and head up the trails, because otherwise I'm just going to absolutely knacker myself out, and I don't want to tire myself out before I've even begun. But here we are. It's a lovely walk back from the pond. It really is. I'm a little bit breathy. It's quite steep, it's quite warm. It'll take me a little while to get back used to this heat again. Although it's been 30 degrees, an extra 8 degrees on top of that is it's actually feels quite a lot. So this is my weapon of choice today. Let's jump in here and head up the mountain. Okay, so change of plan. I'm literally in the best shape I've been in so many years. I'm eating completely clean. I'm working out all the time. I was hiking all the time, and just living a really healthy lifestyle. And I feel great, so I may as well just hike up the mountain and sweat it out, and honestly, it'll probably be good for me. I'm just walking back around the lake so I can head up the mountain. I've just spotted this down here. If I zoom in, that is a lot of goldfish. And why I imagine they're there is because you got the fresh water source coming straight in, that ice cold water right there. But also you've got all of this fresh duckweed that they love to nibble on and feed off. But that's definitely a lot of fish just in that one location. And here's another angle that I don't really show very often, looking back at the lake, and it has dropped quite significantly since it was overflowing. But like I said, that's to be expected. This is the first year that I've managed to get it to hold water again since the fire and the flooding, so I'm really pleased with the progress. And it just means when the rains come, I know for sure now that it holds water and it's going to fill right back up, and I just need to get that maintenance done before it actually does that. But the rains generally don't come, the big rains, until the end of September, normally mid to the end of September. I'm really happy I walked because you get to see exactly what's going on at a normal pace instead of just zooming past in the UTV. And you can see here there's still plenty of water coming into the lake. That has slowed down a lot, obviously, because the spring slows down a little bit in the summertime, but that will pick back up in the next month or so. So this is clearly the reason why I decided to walk up here instead of bring the UTV. The universe knew that there was a tree blocking my path, and I can't move that without a chainsaw. So I'm just going to go underneath it. Good idea walking. Just need to create a little bit where I can actually get underneath it. There we go. I am through, and it should be plain sailing from now, but that is why I like doing these kind of perimeter checks of the property, especially when I've been away, so I can learn about all of the things that have gone on while I haven't been here, because it's just part of owning like a big piece of land, especially that's been troubled with the fire in the past. That tree had clearly been burnt and had died off over the last 3 years and just finally gave up and had fallen over, and that's quite common at the moment, but I'm working through them as they come. Just to give an idea of how stuff grows back so quickly, about a week before I left I actually cleared this area, but obviously there's a pond just here. This is the top pond, and you can see all of these bulrushes have grown up, so I need to keep on top of these bulrushes because they will end up taking over the entirety of the pond. So I want to keep them to this far side over here, and then ones that are in the middle over there I'll get into the pond and I'll actually pull them out. But this pond is very healthy. It's got a nice layer of duckweed that is keeping the water nice and clean and clear. There's lots of birds drinking from it. I can see a bird, I don't know if you can see that, just pottering around where the water is entering the pond from the mountain spring. But yeah, there's a little bit of work to be done up here. Not too much, probably a couple of hours with the strimmer. Nothing can happen right now. It's far too hot to be working with the brush cutter or the strimmer. So nature will just do its thing for a little while. But clearly all of that water has just made this area so rich in nutrients that all of the weeds as well as the plants and the trees thrive. I'm sure you want to hear a little bit about Finland, and like I keep mentioning, it was absolutely incredible. I did 4,400 kilometers in 3 weeks. I drove all the way from Helsinki, where I picked up the van. Lovely van actually, perfect size, really nice layout, had everything I needed and performed brilliantly the whole trip. So that was really nice. It just worked. It was a brand new camper, like it literally had like 1,000 kilometers on the clock. So it was really nice to drive. And like I say, I headed from Helsinki all the way to the furthest northernmost part of Norway. So I dipped into Norway just for a day so I could have a swim in the sea in the real north. It was cold, but it wasn't too bad. I'm used to swimming in cold water, and it was surprisingly not as cold as I thought it was going to be. And then I came and dipped back into Sweden a little bit, and then got a photo of the Arctic Circle sign, and then back down the coast of Finland. And there were certain areas that I really enjoyed about Finland, and the main one was like the east side near the Russian border. Absolutely incredible, really wild, such a good outdoor culture there. Everyone's mountain biking, there's uplifts, the ski resorts obviously have mountain bike runs, there's loads of fishing. I was fishing every single day. I caught well over 50 nice fish. I cooked some of them up as well, which was really nice on the side of the lake bank. The lakes are just lovely and clean and clear. The country's people are just very welcoming and inviting, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. One day my dream is to have a little summer cabin on a lake in Finland, and now I've said it, I need to make that a reality. I'm further up the mountain now by the source of the spring, and everything's flowing really nicely, and in this light it just looks absolutely gorgeous. I love it up here anyway, but when you get nice light, it just changes everything. So I'm going to be very honest and open with you guys right now, and that is because right now my life feels quite uncertain. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that I don't have any control over. So all I can do is think about and dream up the plans and the projects that I'd like to do in the future and that I'm doing right now, because I've got some really cool ideas for sure. But this period, I feel like I'm in a little bit of a limbo land, and I'm looking forward to not being in that limbo land so I can really push on and push forward with everything that I want to achieve. And Finland, I did a lot of thinking. It was amazing. It was life-changing in many different ways. And one of them was just being back in a van. It made me realise how much I love to travel, how much I love living in a van and travelling in a van. And I'm not saying I just want to move into a van full time and live the van life again. But what I am saying is I'd love to possibly fit out a van, start from scratch again. I've done it before, built out a camper. I know I can do that again really nicely to a high level of everything you need, and then have maybe a camper van that I can shoot off for a week here and there around Portugal and Europe, and who knows, maybe further afield in the future. But right now I've got a lot on and a lot to sort out, and that kind of brings me to the cabin, which is up there somewhere, which is where I'm heading to. I know there's been a lot of comments about why have you not finished the cabin, what's going on with it, but obviously I've had a lot of uncertainty, a lot on my plate, and I definitely want to finish it though. So there's lots of positives to draw from all of this for sure, but right now things are a little bit uncertain, and I just have to navigate day by day everything that's going on. I have just arrived at the cabin and it's looking fantastic. This area is just stunning. There's a nice fresh tree just growing up there, which is cool. And obviously this cabin is situated in a beautiful location, but it's not just in a beautiful location. By design, I put it here to be tucked away from all of the heavy wind that you get in the mountains in Portugal. So there's a big retaining wall here, and it's kind of in a dip surrounded by the mountainside. So it's very tucked away. It's a very peaceful location. And the only way to get here is to hike in, which is pretty cool. So you can see there's a nice dormer window. All of the rafters are on there. There's one rafter that looks like it's really rotten. So I'm going to replace that rafter, and I need to cut down all of the bottoms of the rafters so they're all in line to the string line that you can see there. And then I can start boarding out the roof and doing various bits of other projects inside. Cut out the windows, obviously cut the rafters down here as well so they're all straight. I wanted to put a little veranda off the front from the trees that I cut cut down and I've got lying around here. Some kind of Hobbit style veranda would be really cool. And then I can add some nice sheet metal onto the roof and board up these apex areas here. So yeah, so far so good. Right, let's take a look inside, because I haven't shown you inside here in a long time. And there's plenty of room. It's a really big space because I built it really high so I could have some sort of storage deck just up here where I could store tools and things that I'm using up on the mountainside out the way. And then on the bottom area, I'm going to have like a seating bench and a little cooking area so you can make a coffee or cook up some really easy food up here when you're working for them long winter days. At the moment, it's full of leaves, so it needs a brush out for sure. I'll do that really soon. And then what I need to do is give a lick of protective stain on all of these 2x4s. Make sure they're all protected from the elements before I start boarding them all up. And then you can see the roof here. It's a really nice height. And that dormer window, when that's all enclosed and all you can see out the dormer window is just beautiful greenery and trees. And then I made sure this window is facing the perfect direction, looking out over the mountain tops. So that's going to be like a real picture frame view. And then you have another big window here as well. So plenty of light. It's going to be really nice. So that's kind of what the view is going to be like out of that front window. And I could sit and watch that for hours with just the leaves rustling and the insects flying about. So as I mentioned, it was a very reflective trip. 3 weeks in a camper van, essentially mainly in the wilderness, hiking, swimming in gorgeous lakes, and just doing a lot of thinking. And it really helped kind of focus my mind and come up with new ideas. And I gathered so much inspiration from that trip. It's unbelievable, and I'm really excited for the future. But as I mentioned, I'm just in a little bit of limbo right now because obviously you guys can understand what's probably going on and what's happening and what's going to need to be done behind the scenes after a 20-year-long relationship comes to an end. So there's a lot of that going on. I'm remaining focused on the things that I want to do in the future and want to do now. Obviously, I've got the new project house, which I'm really excited about. Fully gutting the kitchen, the bathroom, and starting fresh there. I got some really exciting ideas for the bedrooms and the swimming pool area. After being in Finland and experiencing so many saunas on the trip, some incredible ones that are right next to a lake where you're just in the sauna for 15 minutes, then jump in the cold lake and then back in the sauna. I think I'm definitely going to have to build or buy a sauna for the new project house that can go near the swimming pool. So essentially you can do the same thing. You can be in the sauna, jump in the cold pool. It's so good for you. My skin felt amazing. My aches and pains felt amazing. I can really see why the Finnish get behind a sauna. But I'm remaining positive. There's so many amazing things to come. There's just a lot of hard work that I need to push through and a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And I am only one person here doing all of this and looking after the animals and cooking and cleaning and everything that goes on with normal life that all of you guys do as well. I understand that. But it can be a lot, obviously, looking after a big property and making sure the animals are all happy and focused. And I know I'm rambling on a bit, but it's nice to be back for sure. But it's definitely opened my mind up to, in the future, maybe some travel situations in a van and kind of go back to my roots a little bit because it felt absolutely amazing. So thanks once again for watching this video. I know it's a bit of a strange one, but I just wanted to update you guys on everything. And the next video, I'll be back on it, working the land. I just needed a little bit of downtime for a day before I get back on it tomorrow. So thanks for all the incredible support, all the comments, the emails. It really does mean a lot to me. And I'll catch you on the next video.